Hi everyone, thank you so much for the support today. We live to see another day, another round, so please come and support me tomorrow in both.
I mean, dream since she was a kid to see her on carry the...
Mabuhay! Maraming salamat sa suporta at magkita tayo sa next round. Thank you.
Alex Eala's father has launched a full-scale legal war that's shaking the world of professional tennis. The Abu Dhabi lawsuit isn't just another controversy, it's a bombshell that has transformed the prestigious Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open from a celebrated tournament into the epicenter of a scandal threatening to expose the darkest corners of tennis officiating. Mike Eala, father of the Philippines' brightest tennis star, Alex Eala, has filed a formal lawsuit against the tournament organizers, not a strongly worded letter, not a social media post, but a no-holds-barred legal action that could redefine professional tennis. He's calling the officiating shameful, accusing officials of robbing his daughter, and claiming that the errors went beyond honest mistakes, alleging deliberate sabotage aimed at undermining Alex's meteoric rise and the integrity of the sport itself. The lawsuit has ignited social media, mobilized her fanbase, and put the tennis establishment on high alert. According to sources close to the Eala camp, the case centers on unfair officiating that allegedly put Alex at a severe disadvantage during a critical match, systematically dismantling her mental state and competitive edge at a pivotal moment in her career. Mike Eala's words reflect raw emotion and fury. This is truly shameful. They are undermining the integrity of tennis. If they do not change their decision, my daughter will suffer severe consequences. How can they treat a 21-year-old young woman, already facing criticism from across the Philippines, in this way? His concern isn't for a single trophy or prize money, but for Alex's entire career trajectory, ranking points, Grand Slam entries, and psychological well-being. At just 20, soon to turn 21 in February 2026, Alex is no longer a promising junior or teenage prodigy. She is the face of Philippine tennis, carrying the hopes of a nation, and this lawsuit underscores the desperate, unprecedented steps her family is willing to take to protect her future. Just 20 years old, soon to turn 21 in February 2026. Alex Eala has evolved from a promising junior into a legitimate top-tier WTA contender, fighting her way into the top 40 of the world rankings, a position only a select few thousands of professional players ever reach. She now earns direct entry into WTA 1000 events and faces the biggest names in tennis not as a wide-eyed newcomer, but as a real threat, carrying the weight of her nation's expectations on her young shoulders. In the Philippines, Alex isn't merely an athlete. She's a national icon, plastered on billboards, starring in commercials, and watched by millions every time she steps on the court. Every victory is celebrated like a national holiday, while every loss is dissected, analyzed, and criticized across social media platforms by passionate fans and vocal critics alike. This immense pressure set the stage for the Abu Dhabi Open, a WTA 500 event critical for her season, where ranking points and prize money could secure Grand Slam seeding and fund her world-class team, travel, and training. Alex battled her way through the early rounds with a trademark grit that defines her game, reaching the quarterfinals amid an electric crowd of Filipino expatriates in the UAE, waving flags and chanting her name as if cheering in Manila itself. Her doubles partnership with Janice Jin also drew attention, promising a fairy tale run that could launch her into the top 30. But then, according to multiple eyewitnesses and the allegations in her father's lawsuit, the officiating began to shift. Patterns long observed in professional tennis appeared to manifest. Players from smaller tennis nations, without decades of infrastructure or Grand Slam pedigree, often face a harsher hand. Close calls seem to favor established powerhouses, time violations disproportionately affect young upstarts, and technical malfunctions inexplicably occur at pivotal moments against them. Typically, these players must swallow their frustration, offering measured responses or cryptic social media posts, but for Alex Eala, this was more than just another match. It was a defining moment in a career that had already defied expectations and a fight that would now take her family to the courtroom. In most tournaments, players shrug off tough calls, address them in a post-match press conference, and move on to the next event, hoping for better luck. But not this time. The Eala family has drawn a line in the sand, declaring they will no longer accept such treatment, not just for Alex, but for every rising star from a non-traditional tennis nation who has been marginalized or dismissed by the tennis establishment. What happened on the court in Abu Dhabi, according to eyewitnesses and early reports, paints a deeply troubling picture. During a high-stakes moment, Alex served, attempting to hold the set or break her opponent's momentum, and hit a shot that appeared clearly in. Spectators reported seeing chalk fly from the line, a definitive sign the ball landed in, but the line judge called it out. Confused, Alex turned to the chair umpire, seeking a challenge, only to be met with what reports describe as a bizarre obstruction. Either the electronic review system was unavailable at that moment, or the chair umpire immediately overruled any chance of review without explanation. Her frustration and disbelief were visible to all, as she gestured to the mark on the court, pleading silently for fairness, only to be met with robotic refusal. Eyewitnesses and the lawsuit further allege that inconsistent application of time violation rules compounded the issue. While her opponent took extended breaks, walked leisurely to the baseline, adjusted strings, and bounced the ball repeatedly, Alex was rushed, pressured, and penalized for taking normal time between points. Every moment she began to build momentum, find her rhythm, or regain confidence, officials seemed to intervene, systematically dismantling the flow of her match and raising questions about fairness, bias, and the integrity of professional tennis itself. Throughout the match, every time Eala began to build momentum or find a rhythm, officials reportedly intervened with time warnings or questionable calls, breaking her concentration and shattering her confidence. In tennis, momentum is everything. The sport is as much mental as it is physical. Disrupt a player's flow, and you effectively take away their ability to play their natural game. According to the allegations, that's exactly what happened in Abu Dhabi, and the lawsuit suggests these weren't random mistakes or coincidences but negligent and potentially discriminatory actions that materially altered the outcome. Imagine Eala, sitting in the player's box, having sacrificed everything for his daughter, watching her frustration turn into resignation and seeing the consequences he had warned about unfold point by point. Instead of losing control, he took the unprecedented step of calling his lawyer, framing the issue in the starkest possible terms. The integrity of tennis had been undermined. This isn't just hyperbole. It's a career-defining accusation claiming the tournament was not a fair, legitimate competition, and that the outcome was influenced by factors unrelated to athletic performance. The controversy taps into broader concerns long simmering in professional tennis: late-night matches creating inhumane conditions, defective tournament balls leading to injuries, and electronic line-calling failures that seem to favor certain players. For a young rising star like Alex, who embodies the hopes of an entire nation and represents the potential for tennis to expand beyond its traditional European and North American strongholds, these alleged injustices hit even harder. Beyond Philippine tennis, she brings global attention, a passionate, engaged fan base, and skyrocketing social media engagement, making her valuable not just to her country but to the sport itself. So the question buzzing in group chats, comment sections, and tennis circles worldwide is clear. Why would the establishment treat her this way? Some observers suggest a deeper motive: protecting the old guard, keeping rankings and familiar faces stable for television ratings and sponsor interests, and resisting the rapid rise of a new generation of global stars. Is Eala, in a twisted way, a victim of her own success? Is her meteoric rise threatening established players and disrupting the comfortable status quo that benefits tournament organizers and television networks? Or is it simpler and perhaps more disturbing that the standard of officiating in professional tennis in 2026 is simply so inconsistent, incompetent, and lacking accountability that match-altering errors happen regularly, and players remain too afraid to speak up? Whatever the true explanation, one thing is clear: the Eala family is no longer accepting the usual "oops, these things happen" excuse. They are demanding accountability, a review of the decision, and acknowledgement of the injustice. The reaction to the lawsuit has been immediate and explosive across social media. On X, formerly Twitter, the hashtag #JusticeForAlex trended within minutes, reaching #1 in the Philippines and #3 in the UAE, while fans flooded the Abu Dhabi Open's official Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts demanding answers and action. Support poured in from across the globe. Finally, someone with the courage to stand up to these biases. "Go get them, Mike. The whole Philippines is behind you," wrote one fan, while another said, "I watched that match live. It was obvious robbery. Alex was winning until the umpire destroyed her momentum." This lawsuit is completely justified. But it's not just fans paying attention. Other players on the tour are watching closely. If Eala succeeds in proving in a court of law that biased, negligent officiating caused measurable financial and career harm, it could open the floodgates for similar lawsuits, fundamentally reshaping the power dynamics in professional tennis. Tournaments could be forced to implement stricter accountability, move to fully automated line calling, or even face financial strain from legal settlements. Tournament organizers are reportedly in crisis mode, holding emergency meetings, consulting lawyers, and hiring PR firms, debating whether to settle quietly, issue public apologies, offer compensation, or fight aggressively and risk a protracted, high-profile trial. Meanwhile, all eyes are on Alex herself, navigating this maelstrom at the center of one of the most explosive tennis controversies in recent memory. Eala finds herself at the eye of a storm, currently in Dubai preparing for a WTA 1000 event she earned direct entry into thanks to her ranking a huge achievement that should be a cause for celebration. Instead of focusing solely on training and match preparation, she is navigating an international legal controversy and media firestorm. Eala is mentally tough. She trained at the Rafael Nadal Academy, where resilience and the ability to fight until the last point are drilled as rigorously as forehands and backhands, but this distraction is unprecedented. The lawsuit highlights the intense scrutiny she faces at home, where Philippine sports media can be brutally unforgiving. Any misstep in Dubai could be attributed to distraction from a lawsuit, and complaints about officiating could brand her as difficult or as making excuses. Meanwhile, the concrete consequences her father warned about are looming. Lost ranking points from the Abu Dhabi match could affect Grand Slam seeding, resulting in tougher draws, potentially costing hundreds of thousands of dollars in prize money and slowing her career trajectory. There's also reputational risk. By challenging the tennis establishment, the Eala family is marked as troublemakers in a sport that still values politeness and tradition. Umpires, tournament directors, and sponsors may all react consciously or unconsciously to the controversy. Yet there's another possibility. Eala could emerge as a hero, transitioning from the gracious, humble rising star to the Iron Lady of Asian tennis, a player who refuses to be pushed around and demands fairness for herself and every marginalized athlete. The lawsuit is charged with anger, determination, and a refusal to accept the status quo, signaling that the Eala camp is no longer content with mere participation. They are demanding respect, transparency, and accountability. Whether the Abu Dhabi Open settles quietly, implicitly admitting guilt, or fights the case in court, potentially exposing systemic issues in tennis officiating, Eala must still step onto the Dubai court in just days and compete at the highest level. Beyond her personal stakes, this moment carries broader implications for tennis in Asia, particularly Southeast Asia. Eala embodies possibility, the proof that a young player from Manila can challenge and defeat athletes from traditional tennis powerhouses, inspiring millions and reshaping perceptions of Asian tennis on the global stage. Eala is inspiring thousands of young Filipino kids to pick up a racket, proving that geography and lack of tennis infrastructure don't have to dictate destiny. This lawsuit, regardless of its legal outcome, sends a powerful message. Filipino players will not be treated as second-class citizens in their own sport. They have earned their place and demand fairness. The timing of the suit is particularly significant, coming during the Middle East swing of the WTA Tour, a region that has invested billions into sports infrastructure and prestigious tournaments. A lawsuit alleging unfair treatment at one of these high-profile events is not just an embarrassment to a single tournament, it threatens the credibility of the entire region's sporting ambitions, giving the Eala family leverage and a platform they cannot dismiss. Social media has amplified the story unlike anything possible 2 decades ago. Within hours of Eala's statement, the story had been shared tens of thousands of times, trending across platforms and picked up by fan accounts, tennis analysts, sports news aggregators, and mainstream media. This public pressure forces the WTA, tournament organizers, and officials to reckon with the issue. They can no longer quietly issue a bland statement and wait for it to fade. Eala's passionate SEA fanbase is keeping the spotlight on the story until meaningful change occurs. What's also deeply admirable is how Eala has framed this fight not merely as advocacy for his daughter, but as a defense of the integrity of tennis itself. By positioning the lawsuit around fairness, standards, and the very soul of the sport, he aligns Eala with everyone who cares about tennis being conducted justly, rewarding skill over bias or incompetence. As the story develops, several key indicators will be telling. Will the WTA issue a statement, and how will the Abu Dhabi organizers respond? So far, the tour's silence is significant, likely a reflection of the legal sensitivities at play, leaving fans and the tennis world watching closely. The Abu Dhabi Open organizers now face an incredibly difficult situation. Will they respond? How will officials treat Eala in Dubai and future tournaments? Will other players begin to share their own stories? And ultimately, will this lawsuit reach court, or will it be settled or mediated quietly? This is, in many ways, a classic underdog story, a young player and her family challenging the tennis establishment, demanding fairness, and refusing to be silenced or intimidated. Eala is becoming more than just a tennis player. She is a symbol of resistance against unfairness, and her fight resonates universally with anyone who believes in standing up to powerful institutions. The story is evolving by the hour, from social media trends to coverage in the tennis press, and everything will culminate when Eala steps back on the court in Dubai. This could fundamentally change professional tennis, reform officiating, and empower players to demand accountability, or it could fade away if the lawsuit stalls or is quietly dropped. Eala has thrown down the gauntlet, calling the officiating shameful, demanding integrity, and putting the entire tennis establishment on notice. Now the question is, who will stand with them? Will players speak up? Will fans continue to amplify the story? And will the media keep pressure on officials and organizers, or will powerful forces try to make it disappear? The stakes are enormous for Alex, her family, and the future of fairness in tennis. Courtiva tennis fans are invited to weigh in. Do you support Eala's lawsuit, or should Alex focus on playing the next tournament? Your voice matters. Type Team Eala if you support the fight, or Play On if you think she should move forward without legal action. Follow this story closely, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch as we track every court filing, official statement, and reaction from players, coaches, and officials. This is Courtiva Tennis, fighting for integrity, standing with players treated unfairly, and demanding that outcomes are determined by talent and hard work, not bias, incompetence, or corruption. Keep your eyes on the ball, your fight for fairness alive, and maybe keep a lawyer on speed dial, because in professional tennis in 2026, you might just need one. This is a story for the ages, and the fight is only getting started. Team Eala or Play On.